To be honest, I don't think my views have changed because I moved
Okay.
at all. I think I've always drawn my views from, something that doesn't change, which is scripture. Right. So even while I lived in Nigeria, my views, were drawn from that. Like how I interacted with my wife and my children was drawn from that. So moving to Canada didn't change that. I think that's what it should be for everyone, right? Like moving to Babylon didn't change how Daniel saw what you should eat or not eat. Like where you live should not define your values. Your values should be defined by something that doesn't change. Because you can live in many different places, right? But to the question as to discipline and whether there's a generational shift in how I see discipline, I think the older I grow, the more I value the sort of discipline that my parents gave. And I think it's going to be the same for my kids.
Wow.
I think it's going to be the same for every generation. Like, you're going to think your parents are necessarily difficult when you're younger. But as you grow older, you're going, oh, yeah, I actually appreciate, the way they live. Actually, I think it's just the cycle of life, how it is. I have one friend who's always, trying to say, oh, these children of nowadays, when we were older, and my kids laugh at me and say, I say things like, but I think this, my friend, is particularly, shaped to think like that. And what I would often say to him is, what we must strive for is to figure out the values we're trying to pass along. And we can pass on those values without necessarily using the methods, that were used, prior. So one example I'll typically give him is, you have a washing machine in your house. Your parents probably washed their clothes at the tap. And their parents took their clothes to the river.
True.
The important thing is to make sure that people wash their clothes. They are responsible for staying hygienic. That's what you're trying to pass along from one generation to the other. You're not necessarily trying to pass along difficulty.
True.
There's no value necessarily in difficulty, right? You're trying to pass on stewardship, taking responsibility, and all of that. And the world is not going to be stuck in the methods that were used 100 years ago.